The morning sun sparkled over the royal harbor of Enchantia, where waves shimmered like jewels and gulls danced above the water. Princess Sophia stood at the edge of the pier, watching the sea with wide-eyed wonder. It was a perfect day for sailing, and the royal family was preparing for their summer voyage, a special trip to the nearby Coral Bay. Queen Miranda smiled as she adjusted her hat. "It's a beautiful day for an adventure," she said. Sophia nodded eagerly. "I can't wait to see the ocean up close. Maybe we'll even meet a dolphin." Amber fanned herself and sighed. "I'm only going if the boat has a sun canopy." James laughed. "And I'm bringing my fishing net." Clover peeked out of Sophia's travel bag. "Fishing net? Yikes. Remind me to stay far from the edge." The royal family climbed aboard the royal ship, the Enchanted Star, as sails caught the warm breeze. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, glittering like blue glass. As the ship glided through the waves, Sophia leaned over the railing, mesmerized by the sea below. Suddenly, something shiny caught her eye, a seashell unlike any she'd ever seen. It floated on the surface, glowing softly with a pale pink light. Sophia reached out carefully and picked it up. "Wow," she whispered. "It's beautiful." Clover squinted at it. "Looks suspiciously magical." Sophia giggled. "Oh, Clover, it's just a seashell." But when she held it closer, the shell began to hum, a gentle musical sound like the ocean singing. A wave of blue light surrounded her amulet, the amulet of Avalor, and for a brief moment, it shimmered brighter than ever before. Amber noticed. "Sophia, your amulet is glowing again." Before Sophia could answer, the ship suddenly rocked. "Whoa!" James shouted. "Did you feel that?" The captain called. "Hold steady. A strong current is pulling us toward Coral Bay." Sophia clutched the railing as waves rose higher. The glowing shell slipped from her hands and fell into the sea. "No!" she gasped, leaning over, and in that instant, her amulet flashed with a blinding light. The next thing she knew, she was sinking gently beneath the waves. But instead of water filling her lungs, she could breathe. Her dress shimmered and transformed into a beautiful teal mermaid tail that sparkled like sunlight on the ocean. Sophia gasped, I'm a mermaid." All around her, the undersea world glowed with color and life. Coral reefs stretched like underwater gardens, and schools of fish darted past like rainbows. A soft giggle came from behind a coral rock. "You're not from around here, are you?" Sophia turned and saw a cheerful mermaid girl with turquoise hair and a silver tiara. "I'm Una," she said. "Welcome to Marowway Cove." Sophia smiled in amazement. "I'm Sophia. I didn't mean to, well, I think I fell into the water, but my amulet must have used magic." Una's eyes widened. "The amulet of Avalor? The one that lets you talk to animals, and sometimes gives you magic powers." Sophia nodded. "Yes, but I didn't know it could turn me into a mermaid." Una laughed. "It must have sensed you were meant to visit us. Come on, I'll show you around." They swam through coral gardens where sea turtles drifted lazily and jellyfish glowed like floating lanterns. Una introduced Sophia to her friends, Fluke and Slim, two playful seahorses who loved to race. Fluke grinned. "You're new, but you can't beat us to the reef." Sophia laughed. "You're on." They darted through coral arches, their tails flashing in the sunlight. For the first time, Sophia felt completely free, gliding through the water like she belonged. But just as they reached the reef, a shadow passed overhead. The sea grew darker. "What's that?" Sophia asked. Una's smile faded. "Oh no, it's Cedric the sea sorcerer." "Cedric?" Sophia gasped. "My Cedric?" Una shook her head. "No, this one's from under the sea. He collects magic shells to steal mermaid powers. We have to hide." They ducked behind coral as a tall, eel-like sorcerer floated past, his robe made of seaweed and his staff glowing with dark energy. He held up a crystal jar filled with glowing shells. "One more shell," he muttered, "and the ocean crown will be mine." Sophia's eyes widened. She recognized one of the shells in the jar. It was the same glowing shell she had found earlier. "That's it," she whispered. "The shell that brought me here." Una looked alarmed. Then he must be collecting them for something powerful. We have to stop him before he drains the magic from the ocean. Sofia nodded bravely. Then let's find out what he's planning and protect Marowway Cove. As they swam back toward the coral caves, Sofia's amulet glowed softly, reflecting the courage in her heart. She didn't know how she'd become a mermaid or how she'd get home, but one thing was certain. She was about to dive into one of the most magical adventures of her life. Water wave sparkles. Sofia and Una swam deeper into the glowing coral tunnels of Marowway Cove, their tails leaving soft trails of light in the blue water. The current grew calmer here, and little seahorses darted playfully between seaweed strands. "Wow," Sofia whispered. "It's like a whole kingdom under the sea." Una smiled proudly. "It is. Marowway Cove is our home. We live peacefully, but lately, strange things have been happening." "What kind of things?" Sofia asked, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. Una's expression grew worried. "The ocean currents are changing. The coral is losing color, and some of the magic seashells that protect our cove are disappearing." Sofia frowned. "And you think Cedric the sea sorcerer is behind it?" Una nodded. "He's been collecting enchanted shells from all over the kingdom. They hold the ocean's magic. Without them, our home could fade away." Just then, a school of silver fish rushed past them, chattering nervously. "Hide! He's coming this way." Una quickly pulled Sofia behind a coral wall as a cloud of dark bubbles drifted by. In the distance, the eerie figure of Cedric the sea sorcerer floated toward a rocky outcrop, where a crystal cave glowed faintly. "Perfect," he hissed, raising his staff. "Once I add the final seashell to my collection, I'll summon the ocean crown, and every wave will bow to me." Sofia's amulet shimmered faintly as she whispered, "He's trying to control the ocean." Una nodded grimly. "We can't let him succeed. But how do we stop him? He's powerful, and that staff of his can freeze the sea itself." Sofia took a deep breath. "Maybe we can find the ocean crown before he does. If we get it first, he can't use its magic." Una's eyes brightened. "There's an old legend that says the ocean crown was hidden in the Coral Palace, guarded by the wise Queen Emmeline. But no one knows how to find it." "Then we'll have to find someone who does," Sofia said, determination shining in her eyes. "Let's ask the Sea Creatures Council." Una gasped. "That's a great idea. They're the oldest and wisest in the ocean. They might know how to stop him." They swam to the great coral hall, a magnificent chamber filled with pearlescent light and grand coral pillars. Gentle whales hummed in the background, and jellyfish floated like glowing chandeliers. At the center sat the council, a circle of sea creatures, a noble turtle named Elder Sheldon, a shimmering jellyfish queen named Lumina, and a gentle dolphin ambassador named Coralina. Elder Sheldon blinked slowly. "Princess Sofia of Enchantia, we've heard of you. The amulet of Avalor has brought you to our seas." Sofia bowed politely. "Yes, Elder Sheldon. I came by accident, but I want to help. Cedric the sea sorcerer is trying to take the ocean's magic. We have to stop him." Queen Lumina's tentacles glowed with worry. "The balance of our world is in danger. If he awakens the ocean crown, he can control the tides, the storms, even the creatures themselves." Coralina the dolphin nodded. "But there is hope. The ocean crown can only be awakened by one with a pure heart, and it responds to courage, not greed." Una smiled. "That's Sofia. She's the bravest princess I know." Elder Sheldon nodded solemnly. "Then you must travel to the Caves of Reflection. There, the ocean crown rests behind a mirror gate. But beware, the cave tests the heart of anyone who enters." Sofia straightened. "I'll do it. I'll find the crown and keep it safe." Queen Lumina waved her glowing tendrils. "Then take this, child." She placed a tiny pearl necklace around Sofia's wrist. "It will guide you when your heart is true." Sofia felt warmth flow through her, the same kind of magic she felt when helping others back on land. As they swam away from the hall, Una said softly, "You're really brave, Sofia. Most mermaids would be too scared to go near those caves." Sofia smiled. "Courage isn't about not being scared. It's about doing the right thing, even when you are." Clover's muffled voice came from inside her seashell bag. Just checking. This cave of reflection doesn't involve any sharks, right? Sophia giggled. Let's hope not, Clover. But as they approached the glowing entrance of the cave, a low rumble echoed through the water. The coral shook, and dark bubbles swirled around them. Una's eyes widened. He's here. Cedric's found us. From the shadows, Cedric's sinister laugh filled the sea. Looking for the ocean crown, are we? How convenient. Now you can lead me right to it. He raised a staff, and a bolt of dark magic shot toward them. But Sophia held up her amulet, which burst into radiant blue light, forming a shimmering barrier. Una gasped. Sophia, your amulet is protecting us. Cedric scowled. We'll see how long it can last. The ocean roared as magic collided, sending shock waves through the water. Sophia held her ground, her heart pounding. She didn't know how, but she knew one thing. She couldn't give up, not when the entire ocean was counting on her. The sea darkened as Sophia and Una swam toward the cave's reflection. The coral forest behind them faded into quiet shadows, replaced by twisting tunnels of gleaming shells and pearlescent stone. A faint glow pulsed within, like the ocean's heartbeat. Clover peeked nervously out of Sophia's seashell satchel. I don't like this place, Sophia. It's too quiet. Even the fish stopped talking. Una gave him a reassuring smile. That's because this cave listens instead. The legends say it can hear your heart, every hope, every fear. Sophia touched her amulet, which shimmered faintly with a purple-blue light. Then I'll make sure my heart stays true. They glided deeper, and soon the water began to shimmer around them like liquid glass. The walls turned into mirrors, each one reflecting their faces, but in strange ways. Some mirrors showed Sophia as a human princess, others as a mermaid, and one even showed her as a tiny child again, holding her amulet for the first time. Whoa, she whispered. It's showing me who I was. Una nodded. And who you are inside. As they swam further, they reached a glowing archway made of crystal coral. Above it, carved in delicate letters, were the words, "Only the pure of heart may pass. Look within to find the way." Sophia took a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. But before she could swim through, a sudden current surged, separating her from Una and Clover. Sophia, Una called, her voice muffled by swirling bubbles. I'm okay. Sophia shouted back. Just stay where you are. I'll find you. When the bubbles cleared, Sophia found herself alone in a quiet chamber. The walls glittered like diamonds, and in the center floated a silver mirror framed with coral vines. Her reflection stared back, but when she blinked, her reflection didn't. Who are you? Sophia whispered. The reflection smiled softly. I am you, Sophia, the part of you that doubts. The part that wonders if you can really be brave enough to save the ocean. Sophia's heart skipped. Of course I can. I have to. Do you? Her reflection said gently. You're just a young princess. What if you fail? What if everyone is counting on you and you can't protect them? The word stung because deep down, Sophia had thought those things. The weight of responsibility, the fear of letting others down, they were heavy, even underwater. I don't know, she admitted softly. But even if I'm scared, I'll try. Because helping others, that's what makes a true princess. Her reflection smiled. Then you've already passed the first test. The mirror shimmered, then dissolved into bubbles, revealing a glowing path of seashells leading forward. Meanwhile, Una and Clover waited anxiously in the outer tunnel. Do you think she's okay? Clover asked. Una nodded, though her eyes showed worry. Sophia is stronger than she looks. The cave tests your heart, not your strength. Just then, the water trembled. A dark shadow passed over them, Cedric. His magic staff glowed with eerie green light as he sneered. Well, the royal fishies. I see the little princess has gone on ahead. Perfect. She'll find the crown for me. Una darted forward bravely. You'll never get the ocean crown, Cedric. Cedric laughed cruelly. Oh, I will. And when I do, the seas will obey me. He waved his staff, sending a shock wave that knocked Una and Clover backward. But Clover wasn't one to stay down for long. Hey, barnacle brain, he shouted, grabbing a piece of coral and tossing it. It bounced harmlessly off Cedric's shell armor, but it got his attention. "You," Cedric hissed. Clover gulped. "Oh, fuzzballs." Before Cedric could cast another spell, Sofia's amulet flared from deep inside the cave. A beam of radiant blue light burst outward, splitting Cedric's magic in two. What is this power?" Cedric growled, shielding his eyes from a glowing corridor. Sofia swam out, calm, determined, and surrounded by light. "You'll never win, Cedric," she said, "because magic built on greed always fades." Cedric's expression darkened. "We'll see about that, little princess." He vanished in a swirl of dark smoke, retreating into the shadows of the reef. Una swam to Sofia, awe in her eyes. "You did it. You passed the test." Sofia smiled softly. "I think the cave was just reminding me to believe in myself." She looked down at her amulet, which shimmered with the same blue glow as the coral path. "And I think it's leading us to the crown." Una nodded. "Then let's follow it, before Cedric finds another way in." Clover sighed. "Right behind you. But if we meet any more talking mirrors, I'm out." The three of them laughed, their voices echoing like music through the glowing tunnels. As they swam onward, the path of shells began to spiral upward toward a faint golden light above. Sofia could feel it, a presence, ancient and powerful, waiting for her at the top. She clutched her amulet. "We're close. I can feel it." But far behind them, unseen in the shadows, Cedric's eyes gleamed with fury. "Enjoy your victory, princess," he hissed, "because next time the ocean itself will be mine." The waves whispered in reply, their tones uncertain, as though the sea, too, could sense the storm that was coming. The golden glow ahead shimmered brighter as Sofia, Una, and Clover followed the spiraling seashell path upward. The water grew warmer, filled with tiny flecks of light that danced like stardust. Sofia could feel her amulet pulsing gently against her chest, guiding her forward with each beat of her heart. "Whoa," Clover murmured. "If this isn't where they keep the fancy stuff, I don't know what is." Una giggled softly. "We're close to the Coral Palace. It's said to rest where the ocean's magic gathers, a place even mermaids speak of only in whispers." Sofia's tail shimmered with the light around them. "Then that must be where the ocean crown is." As they swam closer, a grand shape appeared in the distance, a palace made entirely of coral and seashells, rising from the ocean floor like a dream. Turquoise towers twisted gracefully toward the surface, and pearl gates glowed with rainbow light. Tiny fish danced around the pillars, their scales glittering like jewels. "It's beautiful," Sofia breathed. They approached the gate, which was guarded by two elegant seahorses carved from mother of pearl. The moment Sofia touched the gate, it came alive, glowing softly. A voice echoed gently through the water. To enter, one must wear truth in their heart and light in their spirit. Sofia hesitated for a moment, then spoke clearly. "I don't seek the crown for power. I only want to protect the sea and all who live here." Her words rang pure, and the gate slowly opened with a low hum. Streams of bubbles rushed past as they entered the Coral Palace. Inside, it was even more breathtaking. Coral chandeliers sparkled like diamonds, and golden shells floated gently in the current. At the center of the hall, on a pedestal of crystal coral, rested a crown unlike any Sofia had ever seen. It was delicate, made of ocean glass and pearls, and it glowed softly, as if it were alive. "The ocean crown," Una whispered in awe, "the heart of the sea itself." Sofia swam closer, but as she reached out, a shimmering figure appeared before her, a tall mermaid queen with flowing silver hair and eyes like the deep sea. "Queen Emmeline," Una gasped, bowing deeply. The queen smiled kindly. "Una, my dear, and Princess Sofia of Enchantia, I have been expecting you." Sofia blinked in surprise. "You know who I am?" "The ocean whispers your name," Emmeline said softly. "Your heart's kindness echoes through the waves. You came not for yourself, but for others, and that is why the amulet brought you here." Sofia looked at the glowing crown. "Cedric wants to use it to control the ocean. How can I stop him?" Emmeline's expression turned grave. "The crown's power is tied to balance. Light and dark, kindness and greed, both dwell within the sea. If Cedric awakened the crown with his magic, he could command the tides and storms. But if you awaken it with courage and compassion, you can protect the ocean forever. Una turned to Sofia. Then you must claim it before he does. Sofia nodded and reached out, her fingers trembling slightly. The crown glowed brighter as her hand drew near, but then a blast of green energy shot through the hall, shattering coral sculptures and scattering pearls in every direction. "Too late," hissed a familiar voice. Cedric the Sea Sorcerer appeared at the entrance, swirling with dark magic. His staff gleamed wickedly. "Thank you, little princess, for leading me straight to the crown." "Cedric," Sofia cried, "you can't control this magic. It belongs to the ocean, not to you." Cedric laughed. "Oh, but I can. And once I do, even the sea will bend to my will." He thrust his staff toward the crown, but Queen Emmeline raised her hand. "You dare to steal from the heart of the ocean? Foolish sorcerer, the crown will test your soul." A wave of light erupted from the crown, swirling around Cedric. For a moment, his confident grin faltered. The magic probed him, sensing his greed, his selfishness, and rejected him. "No!" he screamed as his magic sputtered. "This crown should obey me." The energy exploded, knocking him backward. Sofia seized a moment. She swam forward and placed her hands on the crown. Instantly, warmth flowed through her body, like sunlight through water. The crown's glow surrounded her, and she felt the ocean's voice whisper gently in her heart. "Your courage has awakened me. Protect the seas, young princess." The light surged, spreading through the coral palace. The waters shimmered with color, and Cedric's dark energy dissolved into harmless bubbles. He scowled, his staff broken in half. "This isn't over, princess," he growled before vanishing in a cloud of dark mist. Sofia floated, still holding the glowing crown. Queen Emmeline's spirit smiled. "You have restored the ocean's balance, Sofia. The sea will remember your bravery." Sofia placed the crown gently back on its pedestal. "It doesn't belong to me. It belongs here, where it can keep the ocean safe." Emmeline nodded proudly. Spoken like a true princess, above and below the waves. Una hugged Sofia tightly. "You did it. You saved Marowway Cove." Clover popped out of the bag with a sigh of relief. "Finally, can we go somewhere that doesn't involve evil wizards or ancient curses next time?" Sofia giggled, feeling the light of the crown fade gently back into peace. The coral palace shone brighter than ever before, and the sea around them hummed with life again. She smiled softly. "I didn't just find a crown, Una. I found my courage." The waters of Merowway Cove sparkled brighter than ever after Sofia restored the ocean crown's light. Fish darted joyfully through coral arches, dolphins leapt in graceful arcs, and glowing seagrass swayed in harmony with the gentle currents. Sofia, Una, and Clover swam to the glowing blue expanse, their hearts full of relief. For the first time since arriving underwater, everything felt calm. Una twirled happily in the water. "The ocean feels alive again." "You really did it, Sofia." Sofia smiled. "We did it together." Clover puffed his chest proudly. "And don't forget me, Clover the Brave, ocean adventurer at your service." The two girls giggled, but their laughter faded when a low rumble echoed through the sea, deep and distant like thunder. Sofia frowned. "Did you hear that?" Una's smile faltered. "Yes, and I don't think it's thunder. Not down here." Suddenly, the water darkened as a vast shadow passed overhead. A surge of cold current swept through the cove, and schools of fish scattered in panic. "What's happening?" Clover asked, clutching Sofia's bag. A booming voice echoed through the water. "You think you've won, princess? You've only delayed the tide." Sofia's heart sank. Cedric. From the distance, Cedric reappeared. But this time his magic was darker, wilder. The shards of his broken staff floated around him, glowing with green energy. Una gasped. "He's harnessing the storm magic." Cedric grinned. "The crown rejected me, yes, but the ocean's shadows still listen to my call." He raised his hand, and black lightning crackled through the water. Waves of darkness spread out, twisting the once peaceful sea into chaos. The coral palace trembled as coral towers cracked and lights flickered. Sofia turned to Una. We have to protect the crown. It's the heart of the ocean. If he corrupts it again. Una nodded fiercely. Then all of Marowway Cove could vanish. The two raced toward the palace, dodging bursts of dark magic. Clover clung to Sofia's satchel, squealing each time they spun past a collapsing coral beam. "Remind me to never visit a magical ocean again," he shouted. When they reached the palace gates, Queen Emmeline's shimmering spirit appeared, her expression calm but solemn. "The light of the crown is strong," she said, "but the ocean's balance is fragile. Cedric's darkness feeds on fear and doubt. The more you fight with anger, the stronger he becomes." Sofia's eyes widened. "Then how do we stop him?" Emmeline's voice echoed gently. "The answer lies not in battle, but in harmony. Only when the ocean sings with courage and kindness can the darkness fade." Before Sofia could ask more, the queen's image faded, replaced by a swirl of bubbles. Una turned to Sofia. "Harmony. Maybe the Sea Creatures Council can help us. If they combine their magic with yours, the crown might be strong enough to push back the storm." Sofia nodded. "Let's go." They swam swiftly to the great coral hall, where Elder Sheldon, Queen Lumina, and Coralina were already waiting, their faces tense. "The sea trembles," Lumina said gravely. "Cedric's shadow storm threatens every reef and current. We have to unite," Sofia urged. Queen Emmeline said only harmony can defeat the darkness. "Please, lend me your strength." Elder Sheldon closed his wise eyes. "The sea listens to you, Princess Sofia. Let us." Sofia took a deep breath and held her amulet. Together, then, for Marowway Cove. The council formed a circle. Sofia floated in the middle, the ocean crown glowing faintly behind her. Light gathered around them, blues, purples, and silvers, blending into a radiant sphere. Then Sofia began to sing. Her voice, gentle and pure, carried through the water. Musical note, "Let the ocean rise in peace. Let its heart forever shine, with courage true and spirits free. This sea will always be mine." Musical note. Her song resonated through the hall, and the sea responded. Dolphins joined in with melodic calls, whales hummed deep harmonies, and even the smallest seahorses added their voices. The ocean itself began to glow, pulsing with light and warmth. Cedric's storm magic clashed with the melody, roaring and twisting, but the harmony grew stronger. "No!" Cedric shouted from the dark waters outside. "You can't stop me." But the light of Sophia's song surged outward, wrapping around him. His dark energy cracked like glass, and the shards of staff dissolved into bubbles. The storm slowly subsided, the shadows retreating into the deepest trenches of the sea. When silence finally returned, Sophia floated gently, exhausted but smiling. The water shimmered with soft golden light once more. Una swam to her side. "You did it, Sophia. You saved us all." Sophia shook her head. "We did it. The ocean's magic belongs to everyone. It's strongest when we work together." Clover peeked out, blinking. "And to think, I used to complain about puddles. I'll never look at water the same way again." Everyone laughed, their voices echoing like bells through the peaceful sea. Elder Sheldon bowed his head. "Princess Sofia of Enchantia, you have restored balance to the ocean. The crown's light will never fade, so long as hearts like yours protect it." Sophia smiled softly. "Thank you, Elder. But now, I think it's time for me to go home." Una's smile faltered. "You're leaving?" Sophia nodded gently. "I'll never forget Marowway Cove. But I think the ocean wants me back on land now." Una hugged her. "Then promise you'll visit again." "I promise," Sophia said, her amulet beginning to glow brighter and brighter until the light surrounded her completely. As the ocean faded into shimmering mist, Sophia's last sight was Una waving, and the coral palace gleaming like a jewel beneath the waves. When the glowing light from Sophia's amulet faded, she found herself gently floating near the shore of Enchantia Bay. The waves sparkled under the morning sun, and gulls called above the calm sea. She blinked, realizing she was no longer a mermaid. Her legs had returned, her lavender gown flowed in the water, and her amulet gleamed faintly at her neck. For a moment, She just floated there, smiling softly at the sky. "Thank you," she whispered to the ocean, "for everything." Then she heard a familiar voice. "Sofia, there you are." It was Amber, racing down the sand in her golden dress, with James close behind her. Bailiwick stood by the carriage, looking relieved yet slightly flustered as usual. Amber splashed into the shallow water without hesitation, something she almost never did. "We've been looking everywhere for you. The royal guard said you vanished from the shore last night." James grinned. "We thought you got swept away by sea pirates or something cool like that." Sofia giggled. "Not pirates, James, mermaids." Amber's eyes widened. "Mermaids? Oh, Sofia, really? Did you actually meet them?" Sofia nodded, her voice gentle. "Yes. Their kingdom is called Marowway Cove. I met a mermaid named Una, and together we saved their ocean from a sea sorcerer." Amber blinked, speechless for once. "You saved the ocean?" James laughed, splashing water playfully. "That's our Sofia. She can't even take a swim without running into an adventure." Sofia smiled at both of them. "It wasn't just me. I learned that the sea's magic, like all magic, is strongest when friends work together." Amber softened, brushing wet sand from her dress. "That's actually kind of beautiful, Sofia." Clover, who had been snoozing in her satchel, popped his head out and yawned. "You missed the part where I almost became seaweed stew. But yeah, it was magical all right." Everyone laughed. Even Amber giggled. Later that afternoon, Sofia sat by the castle's garden pond, dipping her toes in the cool water. The gentle ripples reminded her of Marowway Cove, and she smiled, remembering the coral lights and Una's laughter. Just then, the amulet began to glow again, soft and blue, like the ocean's heart. Sofia gasped softly. "Una?" The surface of the pond shimmered, and Una's face appeared within the water, smiling brightly. "Hi, Sofia." Sofia leaned closer, thrilled. "Una, I was just thinking about you. I wanted to thank you again," Una said, her tail flicking playfully beneath the surface. The sea's never been more peaceful. Even the jellyfish have stopped arguing over who glows brightest. Sofia laughed. "That's wonderful. And Cedric." Una grinned. "Gone. The sea currents carried his broken magic deep into the trenches. Queen Emmeline says it will sleep there forever." "That's a relief," Sofia said with a smile. "I'm so glad everything's safe again." "Because of you," Una added warmly. "And, well, I may have made something for you." She held up a tiny shell pendant that shimmered like a pearl. "It's a sea charm. Whenever you wear it, the ocean will hear your heart. And if you ever want to visit again, just hold it close and whisper, 'To the sea I return.'" Sofia's eyes filled with wonder. "Una, it's beautiful." "You deserve it," Una said. "You showed me that courage isn't about fighting. It's about caring. You're a true princess, Sofia." The two girls smiled at each other through the glowing water. Then Una added with a playful wink, "And tell your friend Clover he still owes me a seaweed snack." Clover, who was lounging nearby, perked up. "What? I thought we were done with seaweed forever." They both laughed, and the water's light faded as Una's image disappeared. Sofia touched the shell pendant and whispered softly, "Goodbye for now, Una." That evening, the castle glowed under the lanterns of the royal summer celebration. Music filled the air, and the scent of flowers drifted through the courtyard. Sofia stood on the balcony, watching the reflection of the moon ripple on the water. Amber joined her, holding 2 cups of lemonade. "Thinking about your mermaid friends again?" Sofia smiled. "Yes. It's funny. I went to a whole new world, but what I learned, there was something I already knew." Amber tilted her head. "What's that?" "That friendship, true friendship, is the greatest magic of all." Amber smiled softly. "You really are one of a kind, Sofia." Sofia handed her a seashell she'd kept from Marowway Cove. "Here, a little reminder of where kindness can take you." Amber accepted it gently, touched. "Thank you, Sofia." They stood together, watching the sea sparkle under moonlight, while soft waves whispered below, almost as if the ocean itself was saying good night. Clover hopped up on the railing beside them, his whiskers twitching. Well, I don't know about you two, but I'm never swimming again unless there's a buffet at the bottom. Amber laughed. Oh, Clover, you're impossible. Sophia giggled, her heart full and light. The stars shimmered above like jewels, and she thought of all the magic still waiting in the world, above and below the waves. She looked toward the horizon and whispered, "Good night, Marowway Cove. I'll see you again someday." The amulet glowed softly in reply. The sun rose gently over Enchantia, painting the castle towers in shades of gold and pink. Birds chirped on the windowsills, and the sound of the waves echoed softly in the distance. Sophia woke up with a smile. Her sea charm pendant glimmered faintly on the bedside table, as if whispering secrets from the ocean below. Today was no ordinary morning. It was a festival of harmony, the day when every kingdom in Enchantia celebrated peace, unity, and the wonders of nature. There would be dancing, singing, and floating lanterns released across the royal lake at sunset. Sophia dressed in a flowing turquoise gown that shimmered like the sea itself. Amber helped her pin a seashell brooch near her heart, and James teased, "You sure you won't turn into a mermaid mid-dance, Sophia?" She laughed. "Not unless someone fills the ballroom with salt water." Clover peeked out from under her skirt, grinning. "Let's not give anyone ideas. My fur just got dry again." As the festival began, the castle was alive with color. Musicians played lutes and harps. The air was filled with the sweet scent of honeycakes, and children ran through the gardens with flower crowns on their heads. But amidst all the laughter and joy, Sophia felt something tug gently at her heart, like a melody carried on the breeze. She stepped out to the balcony, overlooking the royal lake. The wind rippled the surface of the water, and there, for just a moment, she saw something shimmer beneath the waves. Sophia gasped softly, "Una?" The water sparkled again, and this time a familiar tune rose, soft, haunting, and beautiful. It was a song of the sea, the ancient melody mermaids sang, to honor the bond between land and ocean. Her amulet glowed bright blue. A swirl of magic lifted her hair, and in the distance she heard Una's voice. "Princess Sophia of Enchantia, the sea calls to you once more." Sophia smiled and whispered, "Then I'll answer." She touched the sea charm to her amulet. "To the sea I return." In an instant the world shimmered, and Sophia found herself once again in the warm embrace of the ocean, her gown replaced by her mermaid tail of lavender and silver. The water glowed with life. Schools of rainbow fish darted past coral towers. Dolphins leaped joyfully overhead. And there, waiting with open arms, was Una. "Sophia!" she cried, swimming forward. "You came back." Sophia laughed as they hugged. "I wouldn't miss the song of the sea for anything." Queen Emmeline swam gracefully toward them, her crown gleaming. "Princess Sophia, we sing today not only for the sea, but for you, the one who reminded us that every world, whether above or below, needs understanding to stay in harmony." The coral bells rang softly, signaling the start of the ceremony. The mermaids gathered in a great circle around the glowing sea crystal, their voices rising in harmony. Sophia joined them, her heart swelling with joy. The melody filled the ocean, soft and strong, gentle yet powerful. Waves of friendship, hearts of light, join as one in ocean's might. Above the sun, below the sea, together forever in harmony. As they sang, beams of blue and gold light spiraled from the sea crystal, reaching all the way to the surface. Above Enchantia, people looked up in awe as the royal lake began to shimmer, reflecting the mermaid's song like liquid stars. Amber gasped, "James, look at the lake." James's eyes widened. "Whoa, is that Sophia?" Amber smiled softly. "It has to be. Only she could make something this magical happen." When the song ended, Sophia felt tears of happiness fill her eyes. Una squeezed her fin. "See? The sea remembers you." Sophia nodded. "And I'll never forget the sea." Queen Emmeline swam closer, her voice kind. "Princess Sophia, you've proven yourself not just a guest of the ocean, but friend to all its creatures. The magic you carry is now part of both worlds. Use it well." Sophia's amulet shimmered again, and as the last notes of the song faded, she felt herself being lifted upward, carried by the waves back toward the surface. She opened her eyes to find herself standing by the lake, her feet on soft grass, the amulet glowing faintly. The water rippled once, and then was still. Amber and James ran to her side. "You disappeared again," James exclaimed. Amber smiled knowingly. "You were with them, weren't you?" Sophia nodded. "Yes." We sang the song of the sea together. Amber looked out at the glittering lake. It was beautiful. We could hear it, even from here. Sophia took her siblings' hands. That's because it wasn't just a song. It was a promise that no matter how different our worlds are, we can always find harmony. Clover hopped up beside them. "Well, I'm just glad harmony doesn't involve swimming again." They all laughed. And as the first lanterns floated into the sky, Sophia looked out over the lake one last time. The water sparkled faintly, and she could have sworn she saw a tail flick just below the surface. She smiled softly. "Goodbye, my friends. Until next time." The waves shimmered in reply, and as the music of the festival rose behind her, Sophia the First, the princess who once became a mermaid, knew that every tide, every friendship, and every song in her heart would forever connect her to the sea.